Our story begins in a hospital, where our main character, Shen Yi, awakens feeling disoriented. His vision blurs as he notices something strange. A mysterious, floating door, glowing ominously with a red aura. Confused, Shen Yi rubs his eyes and examines the door, wondering if someone is playing a prank. But as he approaches, he realizes the door is truly hovering in midair, with nothing behind it. Is this some kind of magic trick? He wonders. Gathering his courage, Shen Ye opens the door and steps inside, only to find himself falling into an abyss. The sensation leaves him bewildered. He quickly regains his footing and looks around. What he sees shocks him. A completely dark, otherworldly space. How can there be another space inside the door? He wonders, his heart racing. Hello? Is anyone there? He calls out, his voice echoing into the void. Suddenly, a scraping sound begins to grow louder, as if something is being dragged across the ground. Shen Ye freezes, unable to see through the oppressive darkness. The sound draws closer, and before he can react, a massive red skeleton emerges from the shadows, its terrifying form illuminated by the faint red glow of its bones. Shen Yi's survival instincts kick in. Without thinking, he turns and sprints back toward the door, the skeleton chasing him with heavy, thunderous steps. Shen Yi bursts out of the door and slams it shut, panting heavily. "I'm sorry for bothering you. Have a nice day," he shouts through the door. As he catches his breath, the ominous door suddenly vanishes into thin air. "What? Where did it go?" Shen Ye mutters, confused. Before he can process what happened, a voice echoes in his mind. "Congratulations. You have awakened the ability World Link. I've finally found you." Shen Ye jumps, looking around frantically. "Who's talking?" he demands. The voice, calm and authoritative, replies telepathically, "Do not panic. I am communicating with you from another world, using a limited form of interdimensional communication. If you don't want to die, follow my instructions carefully." Though still confused, Shen Ye listens as the voice directs him to check his bag for a strange item. Digging through, he pulls out a creepy-looking statue. "Is this it?" he asks hesitantly. "Yes," the voice confirms. "That's the cursed statue of the wicked Ghost King. Someone deliberately placed it near you to curse you, kill you, and steal your soul. But their plan failed, and now you have survived." Suddenly, Shenya's memories come flooding back. He realizes with horror that he is not the original owner of this body. The true Shenya, a middle schooler, had his soul destroyed by the statue's curse. Shenya's own soul, from another world, had seamlessly taken over the body when he died of overwork in his original world. The voice explains further, when the curse fails to kill, it grants unimaginable power. Power accumulated over millennia by stealing souls. You now possess this power. Summon the door again. As Shen Ye watches, the cursed statue in his hands crumbles into dust. Following the voice's instructions, he summons the red door, and this time a system window appears in front of him. Title acquired. Polite person. Gray. Damaged. Equipping this title grants the following bonus. When you're polite, people will have a slightly better impression of you. Shen Ye stares at the window in disbelief. "Is this some kind of passive skill?" he mutters. The voice, however, grows faint. "Be careful," it warns. "Whoever used that cursed statue on you will return once they realize you're still alive. They might already be on their way." Before disappearing, the voice adds, "I need you. This world you stumbled into is called the Nightmare Realm, the same world I am trapped in. Grow stronger, reach the depths of the Nightmare Realm, and set me free. Do this, and I will reward you handsomely, but until then, don't you dare die." The connection breaks, leaving Shen Ye alone. He clenches his fists and sighs. "I barely crossed into this world, and someone already wants me dead. But why?" Searching the memories of the original Shen Yi, he finds no evidence of enemies. "Let's equip this title first. I need any edge I can get." Determined, Shen Yi summons the door again. He hesitates briefly, worrying that the red skeleton might still be inside, but he steels himself. "If it's there, I'll just run. As long as I stay near the door, I'll be safe." He steps through the door cautiously and spots the same red skeleton waiting for him in the darkness. Panic threatens to set in, but he forces himself to think logically. What if I could talk to it instead? Communication is the cornerstone of humanity. A skeleton is technically a dead person, and a dead person is still human. Sort of. Armed with his polite person title and a glimmer of hope, Shen Ye takes a deep breath. "Excuse me, sir. May I have a word?" he says, his voice steady, but trembling slightly. The red skeleton turns toward him, its glowing eyes narrowing as it looms over him. Shen Ye, feeling the pressure of the situation, nervously activated his polite person title and greeted the red skeleton. "Hello there. My name is Shen Ye," he said, bowing slightly. The red skeleton tilted its head, seemingly confused. Sensing an opportunity, Shen Ye gave his sincerest apologies. "I'm terribly sorry for disturbing your meal earlier." Seeing the skeleton remain calm, Shen Ye thought, "Good. The title seems to be working." Encouraged, he continued, "Actually, I'd like to become your friend." But before Shen Ye could say more, the red skeleton lunged at him, intent on killing him. Shen Ye quickly jumped back through the door, shouting, "Do you really have to be so violent? I just wanted to chat." The skeleton, furious, smashed the door, but Shen Ye managed to slam it shut just in time and escaped back to his room. Catching his breath, he muttered, "That was close." Looking at where the door had disappeared, he realized something important. It looks like if the door gets destroyed, it just vanishes. I knew it. Gray titles are such trash. I wonder what new title I got this time. Suddenly, a red, bloody notification window appeared in front of him. Titles can only be earned once per day. You've already used today's opportunity. Try again tomorrow. Disappointed, Shen Ye realized he couldn't endlessly farm titles. But then, another thought struck him. If that skeleton keeps blocking the door, I won't be able to get better titles tomorrow either. The assassin could show up at any moment. I don't have time for this. With determination, he summoned the door again. I'll bet everything on my past life as a top-tier salesman. I will close this deal. Opening the door, he stepped through with a confident smile. "Excuse me, sorry to bother you, but I'm back." The red skeleton, enraged, smashed the door again, but Shen Ye simply summoned it once more and stepped back inside. He addressed the skeleton calmly. "It's no use. You can't eat me, and I can freely travel between our two worlds. We can only talk, and that's that." The skeleton roared in fury and smashed the door again, but Shen Ye didn't give up. Summoning the door once more, he asked, "Now, are you ready to hear my proposition?" After multiple failed attempts to kill Shen Ye, the red skeleton, frustrated and exhausted, retreated into the darkness of a tunnel. Shen Ye, seeing the skeleton leave, called out, "Don't go," he continued. "I noticed you're injured. When you were chomping on people earlier, new bone was growing from the break in your left arm. And it's not just your arm, is it? Your skull, ribs, spine, they're all damaged." The skeleton stopped and turned to look at him. Shen Ye quickly pulled out his phone and showed a picture of calcium tablets. "I can't let you eat me, but our world has tons of stuff that's great for your bones, like these calcium tablets, specifically designed to help with healing. And we've got other supplements that are way more nutritious than I am. If we become friends, I can help you get them." Smiling, Shen Ye added, "We have a saying where I come from. I'd take a bullet for my friend. Buying some calcium tablets is nothing compared to that. Though, in your case, I doubt bullets are much of an issue, right?" The red skeleton raised its right hand, summoning a glowing purple orb. Shen Ye, thinking he was about to be attacked, braced himself. "Still no good, huh? Guess I'll have to try something else." But instead of attacking, the skeleton materialized a piece of parchment in the air. Shen Ye stepped closer, realizing it was a contract. A notification popped up. "Progenitor of shadowed bones, devourer of corpses, defeated lord of the underworld, Mictlantecuhtli." Shen Ye blinked in disbelief. This monster's got some serious credentials. Wait, why are there ellipses after the name? The notification continued. "Defeated lord of the underworld, Mictlantecuhtli, Skull Legion 5th Division, Battlefield Acquisition Officer." Shen Ye stared at the title and thought, so he's just a low-ranking pencil pusher? The contract details appeared next. Contract terms equal exchange. Addendum. 7 millennia ago, humanity's culture, art, and technology caused the eternal bell of fate to chime 12 times. Even the gods took notice. "I hope you can help me regain my strength." The skeleton addressed Shen Ye directly. "I do not make contracts with beings other than gods. You should understand the value of this agreement. It is fair. Either party may terminate it at any time. Sign your name, and the contract will be binding. Shen-Ye, intrigued, signed the contract. Another notification appeared. The human who overcame the curse of the fallen evil spirits. Gatekeeper of nightmares and reality, sole controller of the two realms. Realizing the gravity of what had just happened, Shen-Ye muttered, "This is a really big deal." After the contract was sealed, Shen-Ye found himself discharged from the hospital and returned home. His parents greeted him warmly. "You just got out of the hospital. Please let us know if you feel unwell," his father said. "Take it easy at home for a few days. Don't stress about anything," his mother added, handing him a tonic. "Drink this on an empty stomach. It'll do you good." His father also handed him the calcium tablets he had asked for. Shen-Ye thanked them, overwhelmed by their kindness. "I never received such care in my past life as an orphan," he thought. "It's so nice to feel loved by family." Just as he was basking in this newfound warmth, there was a knock at the door. When he opened it, 2 police officers stood outside. "We're from the East Precinct. We'd like to ask you some questions about your case," one of them said. The older police officer looked at Shen-Ye's parents and said solemnly, "Incidents like this happen countless times every year. They're completely unpredictable, and when they do, all you can do is accept your fate. Fortunately, Shen-Ye, you've recovered. That's a blessing amidst the misfortune." Shen-Ye, listening carefully, couldn't shake the feeling that the officers knew more than they were letting on. He pieced together the implications. The real Shen-Ye. He was killed by a monster summoned by that cursed statue. A sad expression crossed his face as he spoke. "So, next time something like this happens, we're all just supposed to leave it to fate?" The older officer fell silent, unable to respond. But the younger officer standing behind him, his right hand clearly mechanical with a metallic sheen, stepped forward. "I know you're upset," he said, his voice steady, "but there's something you should know. The higher-ups have approved it. The hospital where this incident occurred will soon be abandoned. No one will be allowed to enter again. Rest assured, there won't be any more victims." Shen-Ye's gaze shifted to the younger officer's uniform, noting the 3 stars on his badge. A sergeant, and he's still so young, he thought. "Thank you for telling me," Shen-Ye said, his voice polite, but tinged with nervousness. "It's just, I'm worried someone's targeting me." The young sergeant gave him a reassuring nod. "Don't worry too much," he said. "You're just a middle schooler with a simple social circle. We haven't found any evidence of anyone holding a grudge against you." With that, the officers began to leave. "We have other duties to attend to," the sergeant said. "We won't bother you any longer." As the officers walked away, Shen-Ye reflected on their conversation. The curse from the wicked Ghost King statue is incredibly powerful. Not even the police or the government can do anything about it. It's obvious. They're terrified and would rather stay far away from it. But something didn't add up. Why me? Why would someone use such a powerful curse against a normal middle schooler? Lost in thought, he was startled when the young sergeant returned. Handing Shen-Ye a card, the sergeant said, "If anything feels off, call me directly." Shen-Ye accepted the card and looked at the name, Sergeant Luo Feichuan. "Guess not everyone in the police force is useless," Shen-Ye mused. "But can I trust him? Or rather, can he actually help me? If the police and the government can't do anything, what can one sergeant do?" His thoughts grew darker. "Now that word has spread about me being alive. Whoever is after me won't let this slide. What if they target my family?" Determined, Shen-Ye clenched his fists. "I have to get stronger. As soon as possible." Shen-Ye summoned the red dimension door again, this time armed with calcium tablets and a smile. Stepping through, he called out, "Big Skelly, I'm back." The red skeleton emerged from the darkness, looming over him. "I brought you the calcium tablets you wanted," Shen-Ye said, holding them up. But the skeleton pointed at Shen-Ye's pocket. Curious, Shen-Ye pulled out the tonic his mother had given him. "You want this instead?" he asked. In response, the skeleton retrieved the contract they had made earlier. A notification appeared in front of Shen-Ye. "The other party desires the tonic in your possession. As a battlefield acquisition officer, the giant skeleton has selected an item from its collection of war spoils. A relic from an enemy soldier, offering it in exchange for your tonic, low-tier nightmare crystal. A relic crafted by high elves, who were once enemies of the giant skeleton. This crystal can directly instill knowledge, skills, techniques, or intelligence into the user. In the realm of nightmares, all civilization and knowledge serve to enhance combat prowess. Shen Ye's eyes lit up as he took the crystal. A crystal that grants knowledge and skills? This sounds amazing. I'm in! Without hesitation, he snapped the crystal, activating its power. A red notification window appeared. You have learned. Moonlit Deer Walk. Moonlit Deer Walk, the primary movement technique used by elven soldiers designed to counter the undead. This technique allows the user to evade, dash, and sidestep. Shen Yi grinned. Never thought I'd trade a single tonic for an elven movement technique. At least now I have a way to defend myself. The red skeleton took the calcium tablets as well and retreated back into the shadows. Shen Yi folded his arms and muttered, "Hiding in the dark, huh? We signed a contract. What's with all the secrecy?" Shaking his head, he decided to focus on practicing the Moonlit Deer Walk technique. But as he was about to leave, a notification window appeared. Moonlit Deer Walk, first form, evasion. Required agility, points, 3. Assessing your physical attributes, agility points, 2. You need one more agility point. Shen Ye sighed. This really is like a video game. He asked the system, "How do I increase my agility?" Before he could get an answer, a voice from behind interrupted him. "You really are alive. How is that possible, I wonder?" Shen Ye spun around, his heart pounding. Outside his window stood a man dressed in black, a dagger glinting in his hand. The man smirked. "Let's see what you're really made of," he said, his voice dripping with malice. The assassin leaped through the window into Shen Yi's room, gripping a dagger with deadly intent. Without hesitation, he slashed at Shen Yi, but Shen Yi's reflexes kicked in just in time. He dodged the attack with a quick sidestep. The killer, clearly impressed by Shen Yi's reflexes, smirked. "Not bad, kid. Quick on your feet." Shen Yi took a deep breath, his heart racing. He couldn't believe someone had already been sent to kill him. Attempting to calm the situation, Shen Yi activated his polite person title and greeted the assassin. "Hello, sir. Is there something I can help you with?" The assassin didn't pause, lunging at Shen Ye again. "Yeah, you can die for me," he growled. Shen Ye was stunned to see his title had no effect. The system chimed in with an explanation. The polite person title is a gray, broken title, the lowest tier in the Nightmare Realm's ranking system. Skills, techniques, titles, and equipment are ranked from gray broken to purple 1 in a million. Higher ranks provide stronger effects. Realizing the polite person title was almost useless, Shen Ye gritted his teeth. Damn it! No wonder it didn't work! As the assassin relentlessly attacked, Shen Ye dodged frantically, barely keeping up. But the killer grew impatient, pulling a gun from his pocket and aiming it at Shen Ye. "Your fancy footwork won't save you from a bullet," he sneered. Seeing the gun, Shen Yi's heart sank. He knew he couldn't keep dodging forever. Suddenly, a notification popped up in front of him. Titles can be consumed to gain status points. The higher the title's rank, the more points you'll gain. Furious, Shen Ye shouted at the system, "These things are consumable? Why didn't you tell me this sooner?" Without wasting any time, Shen Ye ordered the system to consume his polite person title. A notification flashed. "You have gained 1 status point. Put it into agility, now," Shen Ye commanded. His agility increased from 2 to 3, crossing the threshold required to activate Moonlit Deer Walk. First form, evasion. As the assassin pulled the trigger, Shen Ye used Moonlit Deer Walk, vanishing from his original spot and reappearing behind the assassin. The killer was momentarily stunned, but Shen Ye didn't hesitate. He summoned the Nightmare World door, stepping through it quickly. The assassin, enraged, chased after Shen Ye and leaped through the door. "You can't get away from me!" he yelled. Inside, the assassin found himself in a dark, eerie tunnel. Confused, he muttered, "What the hell is this? A secret passage?" He cautiously moved forward, searching for Shen Ye. Meanwhile, Shen Ye, hiding behind the door, smirked. Stepping back through the portal into his own world, he shouted, "Later, Mr. Assassin!" The assassin, hearing Shen Ye's voice from behind, spun around and lunged at him. But before he could reach Shen Ye, the dimension door vanished. The assassin was now trapped in the Nightmare World, face to face with the terrifying red skeleton. The skeleton roared and opened its massive jaws, devouring the assassin in one swift bite. As it consumed the assassin, the damaged bones of the skeleton began to regenerate. Back in his room, Shen Ye let out a sigh of relief. That was way too close. There are probably more assassins coming. I need to get stronger, fast. As he contemplated his next move, a notification window appeared. Your sacrifice of a living creature has pleased the other party. Adhering to the principle of equal exchange, the other party offers items in return, and the contract is recognized. You have received Pale Shadow Crown and Silver War Medal. Shen Ye's eyes widened. 2 items? And they're both green quality. The system provided descriptions. Pale Shadow Crown. Green equipment. Excellent. An item imbued with high-level shadow magic from the Gloom Abyss. When worn, it disguises the user as a member of the elf race, crafted by the undead. Silver War Medal. A symbol of honor within the Nightmare Realm's elven forces. Awarded only to soldiers who have achieved great feats. Wearing this medal will teleport you to elven territory. Shen Ye grinned. This skeleton's a pragmatist. It wanted to eat me at first, but now it's showering me with goodies. Let's see how this Pale Shadow Crown works. Putting on the crown, Shen Ye's body transformed. His skin became flawless, his ears elongated, and his features turned elegant and refined. Holy cow, he exclaimed. It actually works. I'm an elf. This is awesome. Excited, he planned his next move. As soon as I get another title tomorrow, I'm heading straight for elf territory to loot everything. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. His excitement turned to dread. Who's there? He asked nervously. Don't tell me it's another assassin, a voice called out from the other side of the door. Shen Ye, are you okay? It's me, Chen Haoyu. Hearing the name, Shen Ye's thoughts stirred. Chen Haoyu? Memories flooded back. Chen Haoyu was Shen Ye's best friend. The very reason Shen Ye had gone to the hospital that day was to visit him. Taking a deep breath, Shen Ye stepped back and opened the door. As soon as the door swung open, Chen Haoyu rushed in, embracing him tightly. His voice cracked with emotion as tears streamed down his face. You scared me to death! I'm so sorry! This is all my fault! You were dragged into this mess because of me! Shen Ye patted his friend's back and reassured him. Don't worry about it. It wasn't your fault. I just had some bad luck. I'm perfectly fine now. At that moment, Shen Ye's mother entered the room. She smiled warmly at Chen Haoyu. Haoyu, it's nice to see you. Are you here to visit Xiaoye? Shen Ye turned to his mother, concerned. Why are you alone? Where's Dad? Her expression softened. Your father went to see your grandfather. He's trying to get more of those super tonics. Did you take the tonic I left for you? Shen Ye nodded. Yes, I did. Chen Haoyu's eyes widened in astonishment. Super tonic? That stuff is incredibly rare. Even the wealthy struggle to get their hands on it. Your family must have some impressive connections. Shen Ye's mother, visibly uneasy, replied. It took a lot of effort. Chen Haoyu, still processing the information, turned to Shen Ye. Your parents are doing so much for you. You've got to recover in time for the high school entrance exams. Shen Yi froze. High school entrance exams? A realization hit him like a bolt of lightning. The body he now inhabited belonged to a middle school student. He remembered the intense importance of these exams. Because of the curse, he had missed the first test while he was hospitalized. Chen Haoyu's voice softened with regret. With your perfect grades, you could have gotten into any top high school. This is all my fault. Before Shen Ye could respond, his mother interjected, Haoyu, don't blame yourself. Xiaoye may have missed the strength test, but if he performs well on the agility test, he can still get into a good school. Shen Ye's mind raced. This world's exams are unlike anything I've seen before. They're not just about academics. They measure physical stats like strength and agility. So that's why Moonlit Deerwalk has an agility requirement. But a darker thought clouded his mind. I'm being hunted. Going to school is like painting a target on my back. Maybe I should just give up on these exams. His mother noticed the worry etched on his face and embraced him tightly. If you don't want to take the exams, that's okay. We just want you to be safe and sound. Upon hearing his mother's heartfelt words, Shen Yi felt a surge of emotion. A smile spread across his face as he looked at her and said, Don't worry too much, Mom. You don't know how strong I am. He realized that if he told her he was giving up on the exams, she would agree without hesitation. But he couldn't do that. Gathering his resolve, he said firmly, I'm going to school tomorrow to join the review sessions." As he spoke, Shen Ye's memories began to flood back. His grandfather, and, in fact, his entire extended family, seemed to hold significant influence and power. However, his parents had a strained relationship with his grandfather and the rest of the family. They had never sought his help, choosing instead to live self-reliantly. Although their life wasn't luxurious, it was comfortable enough. There was no way they could have afforded the rare super tonic on their own. "They must have groveled and begged my grandfather for it," Shenya thought, his heart heavy. But their son, Shenya, is already dead. This realization only strengthened his resolve. "I can't let their efforts go to waste." He smiled warmly at his mother and said, "I'm starving. Could you make a late-night snack for me and my friend?" The next day at school, Shen Yi immersed himself in the unusual curriculum. Books on body mechanics, psychic energy, and strength training lay open before him. This world's education system is something else, he thought. Still, he was relieved to see the bustling campus. No assassin would dare strike in such a crowded place. If I can get into a prestigious high school, I'll have access to powerful teachers who can protect me. His thoughts were interrupted when a classmate approached him. "Shen Ye, Zhao Yibing is looking for you. She's waiting in the hallway." Shen Ye frowned. Zhao Yibing? A memory surfaced. She was a classmate who frequently nagged him about studying. Curiosity piqued, he headed to the hallway. "Why were you looking for me?" Shen Ye asked. Zhao Yibing's expression was cold. "I heard you came back to prepare for the exams. I did well on the first test and feel confident about the rest. I'm sure I'll get into the provincial elite high school. Congratulations," Shenya said politely. She hesitated before continuing. "I just wanted to say, don't look for me anymore." Shenya's brows furrowed. "We're from different worlds," Zhao Yibing continued. "Soon we'll have nothing in common. Let's not waste each other's time. But we can still be friends." The students in the hallway whispered excitedly. "Is Zhao Yibing dumping Shenya?" Shenya's frustration bubbled to the surface. "I missed one exam, and now she's trying to humiliate me?" Zhao Yibing pulled out her phone and showed him. "I've already deleted your contact information. I hope you live well," Shenya smirked. "Zhao Yibing, do you remember how you always came to find me in class? I never once sought you out. I never even wanted to be your friend in the first place. Now, with exams around the corner, please don't bother me." The crowd gasped, their whispers turning into a buzz of excitement. Shenya was at the top of his class, and she clung to him. Now that he's missed one exam, she's ditching him. That's harsh. One of Zhao Yibing's friends stepped forward shouting, "Bing Bing gave you so many gifts, and this is how you treat her? You're so ungrateful." Zhao Yibing's eyes welled up with tears. "Shenya, I thought we were friends." But Shenya remained unfazed. Tears and guilt-tripping. She's really trying hard. Too bad I'm not falling for it. He scratched his head nonchalantly. "Yeah, I accepted your gifts. But taking a gift isn't the same as accepting you." The crowd erupted in cheers. "Shenya turned the tables!" someone exclaimed. Shenya turned to leave, but paused to deliver one final blow. "If you truly cared about me, you wouldn't try to tie me down with gifts. I have the right to find someone better. If you want your gifts back, I'll pay you. But don't expect us to be friends." With that, he walked away, leaving Zhao Yibing stunned and the crowd buzzing with awe.